And this is the cream of the crop. We enjoy our Queensland Cup Rugby League every week, and we're seeing the best of those players in action in this representative match. A great opportunity to cheer on your team. Everybody's either from the country or from the city, so go for your team today, and they are pretty well matched, as we'll see shortly. But let's have a look at last weekend's results in our Queensland Cup. Ipswich, a 24-all draw with Norths in our television game. An interesting result for Ipswich. It means they stay in the top 5 despite the draw. North Queensland home over Burleigh by just 6 points. East 20 points winners over the Comet. Redcliffe a 6-point margin over South Logan, and Tweed Heads a comfortable margin over Wynnum Manly. And so the ladder sees North Queensland and Redcliffe still sharing the lead on 22 points, 3 in front of the other 3 in the top 5. Aspley, Tweed Heads and Ipswich making up the 5. East, you can see, are just 1 point out of it, and Burleigh slipping further behind. With me in commentary again, David Wright and Warren Boland. And David, this is going to be a fantastic match, but it's just part of a whole lot of matches in a festival this weekend.
You did right, Jerry. What a fantastic weekend it is. A festival of footy, really, for Queensland Rugby League. Congratulations to John McDonald, the chairman, and also Ross Livermore, Warren. What a fantastic 2 days of footy, the best of Queensland, all the divisional championships. I think a great concept.
Yeah, I think it's good to have that focus, isn't it, David? You've got that focus on all of these teams, all in one weekend, and I think there'll be a lot of support from their hometowns as well.
I think there will too.
Home regions, really.
Yeah, there will. What about, Warren, the fact this is a genuine trial for both these sides? Not like that farce in New South Wales when they had that New South Wales country game together. These teams are really close, and they're vying to try and get in that representative side, State of Origin curtain raiser.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be in the Queensland residents team, it's a great honour, and it's a great occasion to be there before the Origin match, and it really does put an individual prize as much as you're there representing country or city today, which is important, but yeah, there's an individual prize as well, and there's plenty to play for, and the last few years show that.
Yeah, definitely right. Let's have a look at the city side that'll take the park this afternoon. A very strong outfit. They've been quite dominant in recent years. Let's have a look at them. Cullen, Kemp, Nick Emmett, Jamie Simpson and Owen Simpson there in the three-quarter line. There's plenty of point scoring in that group. Good halves in Mark Brentnell and Shane Perry. He'll skipper the side. And they're strong up front as well. Will Scanlon, Michael Roberts and Scott Anderson. That's very strong in the front row. Hard-working back row in Burke and Cantini. Terrio there at lock. A good interchange bench as well. The coach is Wayne Treleaven. So they'll be hard to beat this afternoon. I think it's a pretty good outfit. But Warren, I don't think country are going to be easy to beat today either. They look pretty strong to me.
Well, the thing about it, David, I reckon you look for combinations in these kind of games because they don't have much time to spend together. In the city team, you've got a lot of players from Redcliffe and the Aspley Broncos predominating, and they've got, I think it's seven players backing up from last year's team as well. On the other hand, country, predominantly Ipswich. There's 6 Ipswich players. I think it's 3 from the young guns who are on top of the comp, of course, but only 2 players backing up for the second year in a row. So maybe a little bit more combination laying in the city side. But let's look at the country side because it's very strong. And talk about combinations, very important. Look at the half and 5'8", both from the young guns in Shane Musprat, number 7, and number 6, Jackson Nicolau. But from the top, Nick Parfitt at fullback, Nat Barnes on one wing, Shannon Walker on the other with Guy Williams and Chris Walker, the centres, Nicolau and Musprat, the halves. In the front row there, Isaac Armour from Ipswich alongside his Ipswich dummy half and hooker Michael Ryan. John Frith from the Cowboys Young Guns in there as the other prop forward. And then Andrew Moroney, Martin Grease and Danny Coburn, coached by Mark G, who of course is coaching against some of his Aspley Broncos players today. So there's a lot of interest in this match today.
And Wynnum Manly Leagues Club, the home of this Cougar Eye Oval. It really is a wonderful ground. And a reasonable crowd in as well to watch this representative clash. A pretty cool day today. Certainly not as warm as last time we were here. It was an extraordinarily hot day last time we were at Cougar Eye. So it's amazing how winter has arrived with a bit of a vengeance this week right throughout Queensland, especially in the country areas, I suppose. And Shane Perry leads out the city team, predominantly in white, ready for this annual clash with country. What a lineup this is. The city representatives, so many Redcliffe players in it, including, of course, the halfback and captain. When you're playing rugby league nowadays, you aim to play for Australia and you aim to win an NRL premiership. And Shane Perry's done that with an amazing 12 months of rugby league for him. And here he finds himself on the representative scene again, and he'll be very keen to be a part of the Queensland residents team as well.
There's the Queensland countryside being led out now by Shane Muspratt. What a very good outfit it is. I think this game will go to the wire. We've had a couple of blowouts in recent years with City's domination over the last few years, but I think it's an exceptional countryside, and if you've got a few other things to do this afternoon, you'll miss some entertainment if you miss any minute of this, but don't miss the finish. I reckon we're going to be in for a close one. Shane Muspratt, what a career he's had. He's had 50 NRL games. He was man of the match for North Queensland Young Guns in the grand final a couple of years ago. He's from Burdekin originally, made his debut in '99. Strong leader, and he'll enjoy himself out there this afternoon, I'm sure. Good distribution game, good defence, and plenty of talk.
Referee for today's game is Clayton Sharp. What an honour for him to be refereeing the annual City Country Clash. Nick Parfitt will be kicking off for Country there in the predominantly maroon colours, right to left. And here we go, the City Country Clash underway. The ball hanging in the air for a moment and will be carted forward by Scott Anderson for City, caught on his 20-metre line. There'll be a bit of fury in defence and aggressive attack, you would assume, and the first penalty goes to City.
Referee Clayton Sharp making sure he sets the rules around the ruck, and I think that's good. We want to see a fast, open game here. We don't want to see players lying all over the man in the play the ball. We've got the best of the Queensland Cup players on offer here today. We want to see some attack.
Head-to-head since Queensland Cup has been in action, City have won 7, Country 4. So a big chance for Country to try and make that statistic look a little bit better from their point of view. As Danny Burke is caught, taking it 5 metres into Country's territory. Yet another of the Redcliffe players. The pass goes across field to Will Scanlon, getting a run-on chance with Nick Kenny's withdrawal. In there, a dummy half is Michael Roberts playing that role that he does so effectively at Redcliffe, and they're now just 20 metres short of the line. So here they go. Can City open the scoring here? Nice offload too. Late pass from Perry onto Cantoni. Nice quick play the ball by Cantoni. Here they go. Perry to the defensive line. The pass straight out across to Nick Emmett. He's heading for the line. Emmett can't get there though.
Great defence in the end there. Chris Walker, the number 4, stood his ground. Nick Emmett one-on-one is almost unstoppable. But because we've got the cream of the cream here this half, we're going to see some great personal contests.
Down on the sideline, Warren Boland. It's already a fiery start.
Yeah, well, that was great defence by Walker there to stop a promising set of 6 from the City side. Looked very good in the build-up with Shane Perry calling the shots. And look, conditions are just perfect for a game of footy today. Just the perfect temperature. The pitch is in good order, and just a very, very slight breeze blowing from the clubhouse across to this side from the south.
Country using the ball already, even though it's inside their own territory. The pass from Muspratt went out to Nicolau. As Warren said, the Young Guns teammate, so they got the advantage in the halves. Chris Walker, a bit of dash, pops the pass up as well there to Nathaniel Barnes, and he does well to stay in the field of play. Still having some difficulty getting out of their own territory, but this is a good kick. It's found a bit of space. The ball will bounce favourably for Alan Simpson. They won't give him any room to move. He's a real flyer. The defence moves up very quickly to cover him as well. So pretty steady start here from both sides. Perry drops into dummy half.
Interesting to see Nick Parfitt kicking there for the countryside. Whether he will be the main kicker right through the game, we'll wait and see.
They'll presumably look for options, and Parfitt certainly is one of those. Perry throwing a couple of face balls so far in the match, so he's going to keep the defence thinking. Shane Perry, as Jerry said, the premiership ring with the Broncos last year, and would love another opportunity back at the top level. This is the springboard for every one of these 34 players here. Pass there up to the big fella, and Scott Anderson couldn't be handled. Hit him on the chest. And the chest is out of play with those short balls. You've got to get your hands on the ball. If you let the chest hit first, the chances are exactly this is going to happen.
Well, you can imagine Scott Anderson thinking, I want to hit that ball, I want to hit it running. But unfortunately, probably concentrating a little bit too much on the fact that there was a big opening there. He was through it okay, but there's not much use having an opening if you don't take the ball with you.
Well, there was a space between two players, but they weren't far away, Jerry, and I mean, that's the modern game, isn't it? You just have to, you're putting players into the line at pace and hoping they blast out the other side, rather than the old days where you drew and passed to a player who was unmarked.
Danny Coburn hit very solidly there by Danny Burke, but he's made it into City's territory. Now the offload and carted forward by Isaac Garmau. How about that? Wow. Will Scanlon was in it, Danny Burke, and so also Scott Anderson in that really tough tackle. Now, there's one of the toughest men of all would be Danny Coburn. What an experienced player he is, and he hit that line and hit it with power. Now, the nice offload from Jackson Nicolau, and Country find themselves fairly deep in the on the fifth tackle, deep into City's territory. So let's see what they'll do with this. Ryan, now the kick across field, comfortably taken there very easily by Michael Roberts and offloaded. Yeah. So that in the end was well, a disappointing end to the set for Country.
Yeah, an ambitious kick at best. Crossfield kick like that with really not a great deal of height on it, was always going to be comfortably covered by the defence. There is plenty going in these tackles. There's no doubt all these players want to make this Queensland resident side for the curtain raiser and the third straight of a little pass out the back, picked up there by Roberts. Back up to Anderson. Bumping run's a good one. Stays on his feet and picks up a couple extra metres, but undoes all the good work with a loose ball, loose carry, and a scrummel pack just inside City territory.
Yeah, a few high fives from the Country boys, because it's the sort of defence that they want. They want to offload that ball offloaded, and of course they'll start their set of 6 just in City's territory.
Second time that Scott Anderson's lost the ball. He won't be happy with that start of the game, but as David points out, the defence is good early, and that's a good sign. When you're working on new combinations in a short representative week, you tend to concentrate on attack, trying to get a bit of rhythm, but we've seen both teams aiming up in defence, and it's just as important.
Certainly is. Getting in a dummy half. Nathaniel Barnes now running with the ball, trying to turn in the tackle unsuccessfully. And you notice that Jackson Nicolau playing at half when the scrum's there, and Shane Muspratt playing a dummy half role here.
Good run by Armour. What a good run. Look at the body position. Just kept surging forward all the way.
Michael Ryan is up there at dummy half now. Muspratt waiting for the ball to come into hand. Nice quick hands across to Walker. Lovely offload by Walker. But ruled forward to Shannon Walker. From Walker to Walker.
It looked good, but the ball just floated forward. Beautiful poise by Chris Walker there as he put the accelerator down and then tried to hook it around the back. Couldn't get enough hook on it. And the way Shannon Walker took it, you could tell he knew that it had gone forward. The whistle went straight away. Chris Walker chastising himself there. Knew that was a very, very good chance. We've already seen some enterprising footy. City to feed. It's time to work it out of their own territory through Owen Simpson. Not a powerful run by any means. You normally want a power runner off your scrum in that area. Again, the defence charging forward. There's no easy meters here at all. Working a blindside through Perry, throws a bit of a dummy, gets away from one, but you don't. Well, at least he's going at the line. I'm going to say you don't want your halfbacks being caught in the middle of the ruck deep inside your own territory, but he's testing the line. Nick Emmett through the brush off, bit of pace as well. Chris Walker's got more. He's coming to Emmett and he hangs on well. The big fend from Nick Emmett didn't work on Chris Walker on that occasion. Owen Simpson up to Michael Roberts to Perry. Got options on the outside. The tip over the top's a good one. What's up? Beautiful stuff to Jamie Simpson. What a great passage of play we've seen. One centre on the right-hand side opens them up like a can of worms. The other centre on the other side receives the perfect kick for an 80-metre try over 2 plays.
Well, the thing that you're wondering was, where's the support? When Emmett went into that break with the ball in one hand, as we're so used to seeing, he was able to take them on. We'll see it again, this break by Nick Emmett. He just races through the gap inside Shannon Walker. Away he went, but it was Chris Walker, fantastic in cover. And even though there was that dangerous carry of the ball, but then you're wondering where the numbers were on the right. Well, they're all on the left, and Perry recognised that. The crossfield kick, and Jamie Simpson was in perfect position. He wasn't the only one who could have taken it. There was no Country boys there. Jamie Simpson scores the try, and City open the scoring with their 4-0 lead.
Well, we promised you some entertaining footy, and that's what we're going to get. A little wink there from Jamie Simpson. He may not be required by the Bronx next year, so he, along with a number of other players out here, are on show for possible contracts next year, and they're playing like it. This is a high-intensity game with the best of the Queensland Cup players, and we're seeing how they can attack out of their own territory and then go on with the job. Perry, great awareness. He had that many options, and that can confuse some. He picked the right one with the perfect chip kick The perfect chip kick being, if you can put it over the top and the guy catches it on the full, there is no risk. The kick is unsuccessful, but still a nice lead, 4-0 early.
What exciting football it was, attacking down this right. Look at this pace here of Emmett. He gets away from Nicolau on the inside, couldn't go with him. Neither could Walker on the outside, but it's, of course, Chris Walker did have the speed to get to him, and it set it up beautifully, didn't it? Look at the way, the judgment here of Shane Perry. They're waiting, and he just puts the kick perfectly. Simpson got to it very quickly. Referee said he was onside. When you're kicking across field like that, it gives you that ability to get quickly to the ball, and beautifully executed try.
Just the start that City would have wanted. Anderson to play the ball. That's the 10-metre line in their own territory. A lot of work to be done from there. Scanlon caught just short of the 20. And the dart from Roberts, but then found he had a man ready to and willing to take it forward. So strong defence again from Country. Very keen to pin them down if they possibly can. Stepping back inside there, Cantoni tackled 20 short of the halfway. 3 tackles gone for City. And here comes Perry with another kick inside his 40, but it's not going to go anywhere near the touchline. Nick Parfitt getting an awkward bounce there. And he has Shannon Walker to go with him. That's Walker has gone to the inside of him, but taking the tackle 15 from halfway, Nick Parfitt.
Jerry, just another wrap for the Queensland Rugby League. We haven't gone with traditional jerseys here today. We've got traditional colours, but it's great to see the exact contrasting jumpers. So very clear for the spectators, very clear for the viewers. So well done. New designs for the jerseys, traditional colours, and it's very well turned out this whole occasion.
Michael Ryan got that away, and then Chris Walker's pass to Shannon Walker going astray. So City come up with possession.
Yeah, Shannon Walker nearly got himself into trouble there with that tackle up high. He really should have just put him down gently rather than take any risk on a spear. Here it is.
Trying to take that one-handed as well.
Watch him go in for this tackle. Oh, we just cut out of it, but he lifted him in the air.
I'm just thinking as well back to that forward pass from Chris Walker to Shannon Walker, that Shannon Walker's overrunning the pass.
Yep.
He's trying to take it from behind him, and as a result makes it pretty difficult to accept.
You've got to have confidence in your speed, Jerry. You've got to allow the passer room to pass in front of you and not get offside. You're trying to steal that extra half a metre to get past them, but there's no point in it if you drop the ball or it's a forward pass.
Highlights to the fact we've got rep sides, so they're not quite akin to each other's play. Nick Emmett now to get it up to the 20-metre line. Another good chance for City. Brentnell pointing right, but that always means they're going to go the other way. Back to Roberts, the versatile Roberts. Crossfield kick, puts a bit of pressure on as well. Oh, beautifully taken by Dean Kemp. What a take by Kemp. We're going to go to the video to be sure.
I reckon we can be sure. He was travelling with enormous pace, Kemp. I'd be highly surprised if he weren't onside. It was a fabulous run. Talk about what Warren was just talking about timing. Not only got to time it for the pass, if you time it for the kick, that was perfect timing. Here it is again. So he's about 25 metres out, and obviously he's not in screen at the time, Kemp rather, but you can see him coming from a distance, timed it to perfection, got up over the top of Nathaniel Barnes, and I reckon that'll be a try. In the end, he can only go back to the referee and touch judge, and the try is awarded. So City lead by 8 points to 0 with that try to Denon Kemp. And what a fantastic kick, this time from Michael Roberts. So it's that combination, the boys from Redcliffe, Perry and Roberts. Look at this from Roberts. Beautifully high. And the run from Kemp. Talk about perfect timing. Right on and try.
He gets better every time I see him, Denon Kemp. We've said a number of times on the Queensland Cup that he had a soccer background and could have gone on to bigger things there. But his decision to come to rugby league after playing with a few mates a couple of years ago in a social match, he'd just been re-signed by the Bronx. And who could forget that 80 or 90 metre effort in his debut earlier this season with the Baby Broncos. And he just flashed through on that. And the timing again, the jump was just perfectly timed against a stationary Nathaniel Barnes. And City have got a flying start here. Long way from being over this game, but they've got a 10-point lead.
It was a perfect kick, a bomb from Roberts, 10-0 to City. And if you see on the far side, the referee called, I think it's Simpson on the far side, offside. As he comes through, then he drops off. He stays 10 metres away. Good play. Kemp comes through, challenges, too good. And Kemp, he scores a try a game. Every time he takes the field, he's just about guaranteed of scoring a try. And he's already done it today for the first.
It's a handy lead for City, leading by 10 points.
No.
And that does not help Country's cause. You got to be behind the kicker. Penalty goes to City, and with that 10-point margin already, they're being gifted territory.
Well, that's a just lack of concentration. Chris Walker, it was, I think, the one who's been adjudicated the main culprit, and that's just well, that's just slack. You can't afford to be.
So here comes City on the attack again. Country again called on to defend and defend strongly. Will Scanlon, he's played well, having given his chance to be a part of the run-on team. He's done a tremendous job. Now Perry, straight out through the hands of Brentnell, backing around. Brentnell is able to get it onto Simpson, and Jamie Simpson very close again. It's the try line just in front of them there. Now stepping back inside goes to Rio. Got the pass away to Anderson, and Scott Anderson has scored try number 3 for the City. Oh, it's all too easy for the City boys. They're showing Country a real lesson here, and they lead by 14 points to 0.
Well, it all comes from the fact that they mucked up the kickoff. They gave away a penalty, and then City have gone straight on the attack. Nice work from Johnny Torrio. Step back on the inside, beautifully drew a couple of players, and the big fellow Scott Anderson was not going to be stopped from there. He was in a bit of space. Have a look at the step from Torrio. Love players with the step. That created the try. The line was basically intact, but if you can change direction, as John Torrio did there, it will give you a good chance to wrong foot the defence. And then if you've got a big man like Scott Anderson coming up the middle, it spells trouble for the defenders. But the trouble stems from the fact they haven't had any footy. And you can't win matches at this level without your fair share of the ball. They've had 2 tries with kicks, surrendering the tries, or giving up the tries. And that's the first one they've had running against them clean. But they'll need to get possession. They'll need to take to really take a restock of this game. They've been blasted early in the match, but they've had no pill.
No, and Simpson, his red and white mouthguard from Redcliffe, is ideal for the red and white colours of City. He's got 1 from 2. He's got 2 from 3 now. And they're out to a 16-0 lead.
Let's take another look at the Country restart and see who was offside. Chris Walker close to the camera. Yeah, got away by a metre. And you really have to be careful, particularly out wider. You can't necessarily see the kicker. You've got to hang back and make sure of it. Good step from Torrio. Got back on the inside. Good comeback from Scott Anderson after a couple of drop balls early. He's made his mark in the game.
Awkward bounce here for City, but taken by Perry and immediately taken forward by Scanlon. And good work by Scanlon. Oh, he's played well. So he's 25 out from his own line. Perry now turning it back inside to Anderson. And having scored the try, you can see the confidence building in him. Oh, he's lost the ball again. And the referee is ruling it a knock-on too. So disappointment there for Scott Anderson.
This is the chance Country were looking for, though. A little bit of attack ball, plenty of attention in that play the ball, and looked to be a reefing action also from Isaac Armau.
Yeah, not surprising that Anderson turned around with an appeal to the referee, but Country have got away with it. Earlier today, as part of the Festival of Footy here at Cougar, Brisbane second division beat Outback 40 points to 20. The Outback boys came to town, put on a pretty good performance, but couldn't quite match it with the second division squad. Now Shane Musprat goes to ground. Can Country score a try here? All the Country people right behind you. So let's see what you can do. And they managed to make it up to the 30. Caught there is Guy Williams. Ryan's there at dummy half. And back to Musprat. He's an organiser, Musprat, turning it into Frith. And John Frith has tackled only 15 out. Ryan going to the right this time. Musprat, a cutout pass has gone straight to Martin Grease, but how well was that read by the City defence? They were on Grease almost before the ball was in his hands, but they've gone on with it too much, and so maybe Country can do something from this penalty.
Yeah, back-to-back sixes will help them immensely, but that was strong defence from City. They went on with the job. The referee had called held, and they didn't hear it. A good chance now for Country. Couple of metres out. They really do need to score from this point. Up to Musprat, got a couple of options up there to Nicolau. Nicolau second man play to Parfitt. Parfitt looks for his wing on the outside and Chad Walker. What a flash he is.
Touch. Legs in the air.
Oh dear. He looks like he'd done a fantastic dancing trick along there. Have to see that again.
Well, country players calling for the ref to go to the video, and I don't blame them.
Let's hope he wasn't too casual. I know the defence was on him.
I don't.
Well, he was hitting the ball down.
He's touched that.
Yeah, he hasn't awarded that, Jerry. That'd be a touch in goal. This has come back for a scrum. He's got him for in touch.
Yeah, well, the touch judge put his flag up.
Yeah. And was he out?
And no, he has tiptoed up there. He hasn't touched that line, I reckon.
Okay, for mine. He's unlucky there. Good effort by...
Admittedly, his heel was over it, but his heel wasn't on it. It was his toes. He was dancing. So disappointment there for country, and I think they had reason to be disappointed with that decision.
But as you said, he did eventually touch the corner post, didn't he, before he got the ball down?
Well, even that was touch and go.
It was close. It was close.
It would have called for 3 or 4 re-looks by the video referee. So Tony Maxey is probably saying thank you for taking the decision out of my hands. Because I don't think it would have been an easy one.
Oh, beautiful pass there from Perry up to Cantoni. City do look more cohesive. There's no doubt about that. And the benefits of Roberts and Perry up there to Danny Burke, who's been defending heavily this time. He gets defended on.
Just on that near try, we'll have another look at it at half-time. It was beautiful work from Parfitt coming from behind, and then he gave Simpson a chance, and I should say Walker a chance, and he did everything but score.
Well done there from Nick Parfitt to attack that football. It was starting to float, and he decided he was going to come forward 20 metres or so to make sure he got it on the full. Correct decision.
City bench, Wayne Treleaven there, coach of the team. Clifford Manoa, Anthony Boyd, Matt Lockyer amongst those sitting there.
I'd say, Jerry, I went out for dinner last night with some family and friends, and who should be at the same restaurant? The City team. They were very well behaved too, I might add. And left early.
Not like your days, Dave.
We'd have been home early in the morning. Another era, though.
Well, you're a City boy?
City boy, yes.
Oh, you can go for them. I'll go for country. Come on, country. Let's get a bit of a move on here. Down 16-0. I'm a country boy.
And that was a soft drop ball there by Armour, really. I think he thought he was a decoy, but he's got to be aware that it might be on his chest instead of behind him.
That is bad news, country. They've got to fix that, otherwise they can't win.
John Torrio, the man who put on that step to lead to one of the City tries.
That was a little left foot step then to just go out of the scrum. So he's got a step off either foot, which is pretty handy.
Well, country keep giving away yardage to City by surrendering these penalties. It's really proving costly for them.
Country bench starting to warm up a bit now too, so they could be ringing the changes, which quite often happens around the 20-minute mark.
Scott Alo has left the bench and started to do a bit of warming up, so we can expect him to be on shortly. But here comes another offensive from the City team, and once again it's Will Scanlon. Back it goes now to Mark Cantoni, straightening up. That's 10 metres short.
Your team's going to hold out here, Jerry.
They certainly have. They're under enormous pressure, no doubt about it whatsoever. Look at the options there. Perry gets it away to Danny Burke, and then it goes on to Emmett. Nick Emmett is strong, but he's managed to stay in the field of play, because there you can see how close that touchline was. Plays it now to Alwyn Simpson. Across field, quick hands. Perry, will he try the other kick? Oh, put down again by Anderson. Dear, oh dear. Poor old Scott Anderson is having a shocker as far as holding on to the footy is concerned. But he has scored a try, of course. So when it really counted to hold on, he did.
Little drop back on the inside there by Perry, but just didn't seem to be right out of the play the ball. It was Danny Burke who was first receiver, and you wouldn't want there. There's big Scott Alo. He'll give him a bit of punch.
It's going through. There's been 4 errors by Scott Anderson. 2 of them strips, or well, he claims strips in the tackle. It's come loose as he's in the deck. 2 of them, the passes hit him right in the belly rather than the chest. I mean, it should have been taken, but he'd be wishing they were just a little bit higher.
Shane Muspratt almost made the break. We saw the number of tackles there. 76 tackles country have made. 45 City have made. And here's a good run by Nick Parfitt. Just short of the halfway. But when you've got to do all that work in defence, it makes it tougher and tougher. Scott Alo was left out there, and so Muspratt goes instead to Jackson Nicolau. Yeah, he couldn't get the
3 on 2
pass
out
away.
here, and plenty of space.
So they're going to keep it going on the left, because that's the where Muspratt has gone to. But has that been knocked down, knocked back by City? Might be 6 to go here as it's dived on. No indication from the referee. So knocked back, so it's tackle number 4 for country. Scott Alo's on, and is well met. Look at this defence. Good stuff from the City boys. They've been willing. They've really wanted to put in here today. This is inside the 40, but it's straight downfield, high in the air. Bit of pressure here. Ryan Cullen gets his first touch of the ball, I'd reckon, in this game. And he can be dangerous from anywhere.
And that's a very good point, Jerry. The fullback for City has touched the ball for the first time in the 23rd minute. He has not been called on to play much footy at all. By definition, nothing. That's right. So really, Country are yet to apply any pressure out the back.
And now, straight through the middle goes Kemp again. Fabulous reading of the play by the winger, getting right into the middle of the field and just screaming onto that ball. This is Manua now. Clifford Manua still going and manages to make it to within 20 of the line. Here they go again, City. Ryan Cullen, so dangerous in broken play. And another penalty to City. Oh, dear. Come on. Even up the penalties a bit, ref.
This will take a bit of stopping in now from City. Perry goes to the line, pops up to his teammate in Danny Burke. Couple of metres out. Country will do well to hold their line here. Perry first receiver. Got a couple of options, but he comes back the switch play to Ryan Cullen. Again to one of his own teammates. So you can see that where they look for that combinations. Pass up this time to Brenton will fires on the outside of Jamie Simpson. Better defence by Country. You've got to come up off your line here, fellas, and that's what they're doing. Roberts playing first receiver quite a few times. Back on the inside to the big man in Pat Gardner. He's come on, Gardner now, fresh man off the bench. Roberts goes to the line, pops it up there to Danny Burke. He's tackling everything and doing plenty of ruck plays. Last tackle play here. Perry, no better man to put the pass on here. Puts it up to Manua, and it's been picked up by Country. So they've done well for the second time to defend their line. It was absolutely essential they did. The game was otherwise slipping away from them. And now they've got to do some hard work to get it out of their own territory, and it won't be easy from down this end of the park.
No, but when you're there, you've got to do the work. And this is where you really count on your big men to get in. And Martin Greaser was the man taking it forward there. But now they decide to spread it wide, see if they can make openings that way. But plenty of defence still so that Moroney could...
He's in trouble,
really
Moroney. He's breaking.
Oh, his knee. Oh, God. That looks dreadful. He is in big pain. And Andrew Moroney... Oh, dear.
Bad luck.
It's horrendous. You get your big chance to play representative footy, and he is in big pain, and that's horrific. The last thing you want to see.
One of the toughest and most courageous players in the game as well, and that's a sad sight. There was rather innocuous in terms of actual run and tackle, but you could see immediately that he looked up at the bench.
I think there might be
he's in
some
agony.
sort of a dislocation. It looks pretty horrendous.
You'd almost hope it is a dislocation rather than a break. But very bad luck for the Tweed Heads captain.
Yeah, just running, palming as he goes, and just got his foot caught and landing extremely awkwardly. So his body was going forward, his legs were trapped, and he could see that instantly he was feeling that pain. But we've seen him play so many really good games for Tweed Heads, Andrew Moroney, and this is horrible to see.
While Andrew Moroney is getting attention, and hopefully he'll be okay. Not to continue today, but hopefully he'll be okay. There is a great promotion being run by the Australian Rugby League. Of course, it is the centenary of Rugby League next year, 2008, from 1908 to 2008, as Andrew Moroney is assisted from the field. And there's a great initiative on by the Australian Rugby League. Great round of applause there for Andrew Moroney. But the initiative by the Australian Rugby League is a thing called Tell Your Story. As part of this centenary, the league, the Queensland Rugby League, is producing a book of anecdotes. So if you've got any stories, bizarre, humorous, whatever, there's a good crowd here today supporting this particular event. Moroney being assisted from the field. You can tell your story and perhaps get it publicised. So a great initiative, and you can email rugbyleague@qrl.com.au to send that information through. So great initiative.
I'll need more than one book, David.
And some of them you won't be able to print.
Especially once David starts selling some of his tales.
They'll be in the sealed section, some of those.
Country in possession.
I hope there's no pictures.
we didn't have mobile phones with pictures in those days.
Now Musprat deciding to send it right across to Jackson Nicolau, who figures we've played enough down here. Let's get it down in their territory and defend. So if you're going to do that, you've got to come up with the tackles. And good work by Guy Williams to cut off Ryan Cullen there.
And Warren, I've heard you are no angel either.
I've got the wings to show I was angelic, David.
Kemp playing the ball as City again find themselves in country territory. And Jamie Simpson, he's played well out there on the left. He has a try to his name in this game. Across field. Backing up there, Clifford Manu, and nicely kept it alive to Perry too. Turned back inside to Cantoni. And that's 10 metres into country's territory that Cantoni hits the dirt. Roberts again to Manua. Fantastic run. Nice offload too. Kept alive to Danny Burke.
He does it easy, doesn't he? Jerry Clifford Manua just hits the line, turns and pops the ball. Makes it look easy.
Manua and Terrio have both been in the Broncos 17 recently.
Little kick over the top by Perry. Perry following it through. Will he get it? Well, he's able to kick it on anyway. But back there in time was Shannon Walker. And the pressure on. And he'll go back to the 20.
A little bit untidy at the back ultimately. But Perry asking the questions. Chip over the top. Gets there himself to put another little dribble kick on it. Country then fumbled through Shannon Walker. And City through, might have been Roberts.
Tremendous spirit and a real toughness about this game. Both teams really want to win. Everyone's giving it everything they've got. You just wish that the score would be a little bit closer at half-time, and then we'll see a real contest in the second half.
They've shown glimpses, Country, but they've been close a couple of times to putting the ball over the try line. Haven't been able to. Chris Walker runs out of dummy yard. Congested in there. For him to make too much out of it. He's trying to milk a penalty there, but the referee would have none of it. They bring it up the middle through the big fellow in John Frith. As we said before, son of big Charlie Frith, no harder man than Charlie Frith in the 70s and into the 80s.
Good kick from Musprat.
And this will perhaps give a chance for Country. They want to force an error here, or at the very least, don't allow City any easy territory. They've got a good line intact. City back, or finally getting back to support Ryan Cullen. Who picks up a couple of metres. This is important here for Country to keep the pressure on. Don't give them easy territory, and then you'll force a defensive kick. City, through the coaching of Wayne Treleaven, have been very keen to keep the ball alive. It's been quite an enterprising game. They were this time not deciding that he'll offload.
Well read by John Frith, actually. He made sure he got his hands around the ball and put down.
It looked like it was knocked out to me, that last action.
That's what Country wanted.
Exactly.
Hand in there. Yeah.
Well, that's what they wanted. Yeah. It doesn't matter how it comes. You've got to get the ball.
John Frith with the hand in there, and really should have been spied by a touch judge, if not the referee.
Here's the best platform you're going to get to score a try right here and now. Centre field scrum, 30 out, with some of the best attacking players in the game. They're set midfield, so they've got options either side.
You've got Chris Walker on the left. You've got Nathaniel Barnes on the far right. So a couple of real try scorers there. And he's gone for the Walker option, the double Walker option, actually. But this time, Chris Walker decides to hold onto the ball, and Shannon Walker goes in to be a dummy half. This is him now, stepping nicely. Chris is alongside him. Can he get the ball away? Well, he has managed to pick up probably about 5 metres in the end.
How about the footwork, though? He's dancing around. They couldn't get a hand on him initially.
Musprat, he's a thinker, turning it back inside. And that's the 20-metre line where the ball is played there by John Frith.
Walker looping right.
Yeah, Musprat getting it away to Nicolau. Jackson Nicolau, no way through though. The defence of City has been very impressive today.
Yeah, rushed up well there.
The fact that there's 0 on the board for Country is a reflection of their defence as much as the lack of opportunities for Country, and another penalty for Country finally.
Well, you must score here now, Country. So big, is that Lee Poggle on there now? I think they've got to give him a bit of sting.
They have had their chances, haven't they? So surely this is their time. In a dummy half, Ryan. And Ryan going by himself. Knocked down, though, by City. So they'll get another go.
Yes.
The scrum, 10 metres out.
Mark Cantoni there getting up to block the pass. Michael Ryan went a long way to the line. In the end, he went too far to the line and allowed the pass to be blocked.
Michael Ryan thought he was going to go all the way, and at the last minute suddenly tried to get the pass away. Grease was there to knock it down, but Country have another go.
Different scrum set up this time. Nickel out of feed with Musprat on the right. And they're going to go straight to Shane Musprat. Can he create something? Puts on the outside there to Wisbet. Good defence against City. Great tackle. Was that Jamie Simpson?
It was Kemp.
Yeah, great work from Denton Kemp. Up there to Parfitt. Fix it out the back. Finds support there in Nathaniel Barnes. But again, the defence gets to him so quickly. There's no time for Country to even think. This time the pass up to Trevor Exton.
Oh, great work.
Keeps it alive as well, up to Musprat. Pass up there to Scott Alo. Has to bend down low to pick it up. So all he could do there was go forward. The defence resetting pretty well on this side. Let's see if they can still make something of it. Good bumping run here by Lee Coggle. Will he be stopped? Just short. The first bump was an excellent one. Ryan, dummy half play. Fires the pass out down in good quick hands. Musprat, good rushing defence again. Picked up this time by Exton, is it? Stepping back on the inside, yes. Up to play it. Good quick play the ball, Ryan. Up to Nickel out. Rubber kick through.
And that's the try, surely to Lee Coghill.
Rubber kick through. He's going to check the onside. But finally, they've got across the line third time. Can they get a try?
I think the touch judge is standing in goal, so I think he believes it's a try. Here's Coghill's onside.
Well, Walker's only just onside too, the number 4. But he doesn't...
Coghill's the man who takes the ball, though. Yeah, and I reckon he was alongside the kicker.
Technically, Walker probably offside, but I reckon they'll award this.
Where's Tony Maxud from? Country or City?
We're about to find out.
Let's just check the grounding here as well. It looked okay.
Bounced up beautifully for him.
Yeah, no problem with the grounding. So surely that's got to be a Country try.
And they needed it. They've deserved it. Can have another look.
Just Mark Brentnell immediately claiming something was wrong with it. He might have been just trying to play to the referee.
Walker technically, I think, in front, but see if we want to be technical here today. There's Walker right in the front of the screen there.
I reckon Mark Brentnell's claiming he's trying to bring the Chris Walker offside into the referee's mind.
Well, let's see if we get the technical. We've got to try, and I think that's
right
fair
decision.
Enough. Fair enough. Technically, perhaps not. But
almost impossible for Chris Walker not to be inside the 10. I mean, he's got to run backwards to stay out of it. I suppose he continued forward.
The end result is, though, the try, and here it is, Jackson Nicolau. They couldn't get through the City defence, so you needed something like that. Coghill waited, stood alongside him, waited for the grubber kick to come. There it was. You can see Coghill's eyes always on the ball. It bounces up nicely for him. Good little kick there from Jackson Nicolau. Nice reading of the game, as by Coghill himself. He's had an impact since he's come on the Burleigh forward. In more ways than one, I suppose. He's from Burleigh. Nick Parfitt, also from Burleigh, with the conversion attempt. This is important as well. Country really needing the points, but it's gone away. No goal. 16-4 the score in favour of City.
They had a lot of possession, and they finally got a much-needed try. They had a couple of penalties. They had lots of ball here. And finally, Nicolau with a very smart grubber. Beautifully judged, delicate, wasn't it? And Coghill following through. As I said, Coghill's been powerful since coming on. And so it's taken 32 minutes to get the first try for Country, but it's an important one.
Little rebound off the foot of the man in front of Nicolau. And technically could try and argue that players are then put back on side if he played at it. Anyway, we've got a try, and that's fair enough, and we've got a ball game on our hands at 16-4 with 6.5 minutes up to half-time.
Well, if Country can score another try before half-time, they're well and truly in this game.
Yeah, make it very interesting. Certainly if they don't concede anymore. Scott Alo brings it up to the 20. City have really shown some rushing defence. Jackson Nicolau, the man who grubber kicked through for the try, gives it to Danny Coburn. He'll work all day, and that's a warranted penalty. He went on with it. Could have gone around there, is what the referee is saying, rather than over the top. And Matt Lockyer, the offender,
A good work down in Coburn to emphasise the fact that they were all over him by trying to get up, trying desperately to get to his feet.
Let's see if this will give a bit of confidence to the country team. Ben Black out there in the number 17. Looks like he might play hooker or dummy half. He plays half-back for Burley and a very talented ball player. The little man, Ben Black, right there. They work down a blind side. Pass up this time to Trevor Exton. He keeps it alive to Williams. Williams, if he gets in a bit of room, he's dangerous, but City again swamping them. Second man play up to Jackson Nicolay. Turns it back on the inside to Coburn, the workhorse. Black, second man play. Jackson Nicolau looks up here for Musprat. Puts Walker on the outside with a bit of space. Chris Walker turns it back. They've got no cohesion at all, these two Walkers. They're definitely, well, by their colour you can tell they're not related, but they certainly don't look like they've got much cohesion going.
Yeah, they had been discussing earlier. Chris Walker was telling Shannon to come back on the inside. That time Shannon didn't come back, but Walker threw the pass anyway. Misjudgment, misread.
And Shannon Walker should have come back on the inside. Little grubber kick here from Musprat will put Cullen under pressure. The defence will put him under pressure as well. Country are starting to get the upper hand here. The upper hand in terms of the flow of the game. But Ryan Cullen, last line of defence, has done his job. He could not have got out under that sort of pressure.
And there's Kemp involved again. Isn't he having a good game? Or Nathaniel Barnes, rather, with his defence there, getting right up and keeping Cullen in the in-goal area.
Momentum swinging towards country late in this half.
This is another good chance for them to go on the attack. Good kick this from Perry. Shannon Walker takes it cleanly, pops it straight up to Armel. Oh, punishing defence. Manua looked like a arm could have come down close to his head there, but everything okay. Musprat looks back on the inside for Parfitt, but the defence is good. They're just holding the defence in the middle at the moment. What a country got to offer on the outside. That's the key for mine. Black up the middle again, searching a couple of runs. Out of dummy half goes Musprat. Pass up this time to Scott Alo. He goes at the line. Everything's going straight at Alo. Was it stopped though by Scott Anderson?
Oh, surely got to have a look at that again. Where did he lose it? Because it's possible that it hit the ground on the line.
He's called it as a knock on, so therefore he's called it lost short.
But let's see where this ball lands. Oh, just short of it. Just short, but surely he should have had a check.
I guess he must have had a good enough view himself to
Yeah,
be sure.
maybe. Yeah, fair enough. He certainly made the right decision.
Good defence.
Hold steady, hold. Get your head in, get your arms on the outside. Jamie Simpson.
Came over the top, or Scott Anderson, one of those. Otherwise, Alo would have scored that. So some desperate defence on the line to stop Alo. As Jamie Simpson tries to work it out of there.
And the thing is that country have had a couple of chances down there and haven't scored that try. And we're saying how important it was that they try and score before half-time.
They probably had more chances, Jerry, I reckon, than City when you really look at it, and yet they're short.
Isaac Armel with a couple of big hits.
Oh, there's some real venom in the defensive country now. So they're certainly looking to try and create the error from City. They possibly can.
Sorry, Jerry. They know 3 minutes up to half-time. This is important three. Very important now. A bit of extra pressure that they've exerted for City to go wide. And everybody knows these next few minutes are so important in terms of who might win this match.
Mark Brendell's pass there was too far in front of Ryan Cullen, couldn't get to it. But those tackles of Armel, Anthony Boyd was on the wrong end of one of them, and then he backed up for a second one, Armel.
Seconds in.
Strong
Come
lad.
together. Lock in.
Another chance for a country. They've had plenty of scrums, attacking scrums.
That's it.
And yet they've never breached the line from this particular set piece. Musprat back on the inside to Williams. They turn it up the middle. So again, they've done a fair bit of play up the middle in the last 5 minutes or so. This time to Musprat, they come outside to Walker. Walker loses the ball backwards, picked up by Shannon Walker. Dances around, flirts with the touchline. Beautifully done, Shannon Walker. Wow, talk about flirt with the touchline. He plays as if it isn't there. This time, Chris Walker. Up there too, Ben Black back on the inside to Armau. Chance for them to get their own back. Does well to keep it alive up there to Chris Walker. Bumps one, goes again up to Ben Black, searching. Cut down though, Black, couple of metres out. Another good chance for country. Walker into dummy half. They're going to use a blind side to Shannon Walker. What's going on? Up here to Shane Musprat. Chances on the outside. Should score if they can get the heaven. No, they knocked it on. They've knocked it on. Picked up there by Dean and Kemp. Well, they absolutely got themselves into the biggest tangle of all time. And unfortunately, it started with Chris Walker coming left. And for mine, the chances were set on the right.
Chris Walker obviously believes that Shannon Walker can score a try from anywhere. You just give him the ball, but Shannon Walker wasn't so confident. He felt the chance was on the right.
Boy, if they ever get an understanding going, how dangerous are they going to be down there?
Well, let's face it, they're both magical on their feet.
Exactly. And both got fantastic pace, of course. But the end result is just a minute to go now. And as a result, you can't see Country scoring from here. So City just short of halfway in their own territory. Here's Perry again. Little kick over the top. And nicely taken by Muspratt, even though he's lost it. Knocked on by Parfitt, so City will get another go. They've got the scrum. And they pack it quickly.
They backed themselves, Country, there. Muspratt was juggling it, but his last effort was to try and push it back to Parfitt. Muspratt got the bump as well. Shane Muspratt, the skipper.
Yeah, Muspratt wanted to give Parfitt the chance to run onto it and accelerate back upfield, but instead come to grief.
And how close did that go to a little kick over the top from Perry, gathered by Ryan Cullen?
Perry is
Cliff combination.
Perry is plotting here now. He knows he's got 35 seconds. What can they conjure up?
Cullen has to take the tackle. The dummy didn't quite work. So in a dummy half goes Simpson. Just the 20-metre mark he's just short of, and we're into the last 20 seconds. Perry now, what's the choice? Over the top for Emmett. Emmett can be dangerous from anywhere. The little grubber kick is nicely saved. Oh, Chris Walker didn't quite take it. Emmett's regathered, so they might have a chance yet. Ball was played. Can they score? It's got to be on this play, you would imagine. Here comes the Perry bomb again. They fly. Knocked on by City.
Close was that?
They do dive on it. So, well, that was hard in your mouth stuff. How important was the fact that City didn't score there? There it is. They just got the height, couldn't take the ball. Matt Lockyer was one of them going for that ball. I think that Jamie Simpson was the other. So the end result is that City have a handy break at half-time. They're leading Country by 16 points to 4.
Do you want this job?
All I have to do is stay in my cave and not speak to anyone or have a bath or cut my hair or cut my nails or have a wash. And at the end of 7 years, and only at the end of 7 years, I get paid.
What about these jobs?
I think I've got about 17 people to do. That's quite disgusting. It feels as though it's all going to tip back onto me.
Travel back in time with Tony Robinson.
Oh, I don't like this bit. I can't get my foot in there.
And experience
That is by far the most frightening thing I've ever done in my life.
the worst jobs in history. Coming soon to ABC. Meet the Barrys. They seem your typical Aussie family.
But are they? The average Australian household produces 14 tonnes of carbon emissions every year.
A new series set to really make a difference.
Amazing.
8 o'clock Tuesday.
So we're going to set you a challenge.
With one light on, you know you're on track. With 2, you're right on the edge. With 3, you won't reach your challenge. And with 4, you are out of control and you need to actually start switching things off.
Carbon Cops.
Hello, I'm Emma Griffiths in Kazakhstan. Next on Foreign Correspondent, I'll be following the trail of one of the world's most expensive delicacies and reporting on the fight to save it.
Hi, Jeff Thompson here in northern Indonesia's Buyat Bay, where this little fishing village has become the global focus of a fight against the world's second largest gold miner. The Newmont Mining Company has been accused of poisoning the people here, an expose of an environmental disaster or a monumental hoax.
That's Foreign Correspondent, 9:20 Tuesday.
Wednesday on ABC, get ready for a
celebration
because the entertainment's on us.
Thanks.
Enjoy TV's most outrageous double act.
They're so cool.
At 8:30,
everyone's a winner.
Adam Hills rocks your world.
What's the name of the song? I really don't have an answer for that.
On Spicks and Specs at 9.
I'm just trying to reach my Bible.
The Chaser repeat their war on everything.
It's an incredible milestone.
The entertainment's on us.
It's absolutely amazing.
Wednesday on ABC.
Well, as we expected in the annual City Country Clash, which is the curtain raiser, or the team that gets selected out here, curtain raiser for State of Origin 3, Warren. It's been an entertaining game.
Absolutely, David. I'm really enjoying the match, and as I speak, it's just starting to rain a drop or two. But look, what I've liked about it is both teams have been prepared to throw a little bit of adventure into their attack. It hasn't been crazy, but there's been adventure. There's been width in the attack from both teams. There's been one or two handling errors, but you expect that when teams are thrown together for just a couple of training sessions before a rep game. And City's rushing defence, I think, has been another thing. Well, in fact, both teams' tough defence, but City's quick-moving defence are really coming up and trying to cut off the country options.
Yeah, there's been some good one-on-one defence as well. City got off to a flyer. They got 3 tries back-to-back. This is a great run here from Nick Emmett. Nice work from Danny Berg. Puts it up to his teammate, the Redcliffe teammate in Nick Emmett. The one-handed carry. Chris Walker comes across to cut him down, but good sides go on with the job. And City there fired out through Michael Roberts. They got plenty of options all over the park. And then the perfect chip kick. Perry taken on the full there by Jamie Simpson. What a start by City.
Certainly having Shane Perry to steady the ship. He's got such a cool head. He's got a lot of time. He can assess the situation, and there to put the bomb across field was a great option. And Jamie Simpson on the fly, just too good.
Yeah, plenty of attacking.
The run from Emmett was a beauty, wasn't it?
Excellent.
I mean, he got away from Jackson Nicolau, no slouch, the country 5'8", but he left him behind, diving at his ankles, and Emmett carrying it well downfield. It was a great try from one end of the field to the other.
Yeah, they look pretty impressive, City. They were taking every opportunity that came their way. Their second try also was from a kick, but this time Michael Roberts showing the versatility that's in this side. Roberts the crossfield bomb, and Dean and Kemp flashing through, jumps, takes it beautifully. Had to beat Nick Parfitt at the back, but that wasn't a problem for him.
No, not at all. This is just a perfect bomb and a perfect leap. A great kick from Roberts, deep, coming down just in the field of play. High and above them all. Kemp timed his run perfectly. Just too good for Nat Barnes. Very little, really, that Barnes could do to stop that. He could have got up a little bit higher, but Kemp really timed it to perfection.
Yeah, he certainly did. And then from the kick-off, Country were offside at the kick-off. They conceded a penalty. They were inviting City to score another try. They took up the invitation in that passage of play. And John Torrio, Warren, who's a very good player, playing with the Aspley Bronx at the moment, and therefore on the books of the Bronx. Look at this for a good step, and that created the opportunity. He put Scott Anderson in a bit of space, and the big men are hard to stop with space.
Yeah, very good work by both men. Torrio with a step. The defence on the inside just a little slow. I suppose Grease was unlucky. He was actually there, but the pass from Torrio with the step, the pass went right back past Grease, who was coming across on the inside. But the defence, I guess, on the inside, just a little scattered there. They were a little haphazard and weren't able to cut it off. But smart play. You went back to that Country mistake from the kickoff. That hurt them badly there. Country, a few too many drop balls, unforced errors, I guess you'd put them down to. Just made their task a little bit harder in the first 25 minutes.
Because they've had a few chances, haven't they, Country? They haven't been devoid of chances by any means. And as you say, just a couple of errors just hasn't given them as many points as they should have.
Yeah, look, I don't think they're not out of this match by any means, the Country boys.
They're a good team. They had a couple of chances. Here's one near chance. Went to the video referee. It was decided that Shannon Walker put his foot into touch. Well, if he did, the white boots on the white chalk, I mean, great work to get the ball down. Ultimately,
didn't touch the sideline, but did he touch the corner post before he got it down?
And it could have been a simultaneous call there on the. So he's inside there. The front on will give you a good angle on the put down. Now, the touch judge and the referee awards that he's put his foot into touch because they went back to a scrum, but he's fine there. Great balance there. Still okay there. And I think he's touched the corner post just before he put it down. So very near thing.
I think the touch judge got it wrong, but the end result might have been right enough.
Yeah, in the athletic though. What about those stepping runs a couple of times as well? He could have been sitting in between us. I think he would have got away.
Well, they're giving him plenty of ball.
Which wouldn't be too hard, I might add.
They're giving him plenty of ball, which is great to see, and he is going very close. The only thing, he's also been tackled close to the sideline, which negates the play. You really can't do much from the sideline. You've got to I think Country just need to be working, about 20 metres infield, a little more to attack, because it makes the City defence, which is rushing up, that it's easier to cut them off when they come back across field. Yeah,
they've lacked cohesion too, the two Walker boys, Chris Walker and Shannon Walker, and maybe Shannon needs to go roving a little bit more as well. They finally did get a try. Again, a little element of controversy. It was from the last try. But let's have a look at stats before we go to that last try, and we'll have a look at City down that left-hand side.
Okay, leading 16-4, penalties 4-3, 13 out of 20 completions for City. 11 out of 18, just a little bit inferior on the countryside. Possession overall shared equally. City spending a little bit more time in their own half. Yeah, you wouldn't really think so, but Country did start to... They were camped down the right end of the field, Country, in the last 10 minutes. Overall tackles, a little few more made by the Countryside on the right-hand side. Missed tackles about even. Line breaks even by half-time as well.
Half an hour into the game, Country still hadn't scored a point, but finally they got this try. As I say, it was a little bit controversial. Grubber kick here from Jackson Nicolau, picked up ultimately by Lee Coggle. He went to the video to be sure that Chris Walker on the outside wasn't offside.
Well, I believe Walker was in front. He took no part in the play. Technically, the referee could have said no try, but I think in your guts, you know that it was a fair try.
Yep.
It deserved to be scored. It's important for the game as well because Country are within 12 points and could win from here.
They certainly could. I think we're in for a great second half. We'll be back in a moment.
Is this the call that can save Sam? Or something far worse?
I'm alive!
You need to get back.
The race is on.
Someone dies at 2.
To save the hostages.
Clock's ticking.
To save his friends.
You're gonna die now.
To save himself.
You're dead already. Time to put you out of your misery.
Life on Mars, tomorrow.
On Four Corners, global warming on the home front.
Is it really possible to build sustainable houses at a reasonable price?
Jonathan Holmes sheds light on household energy, products, policy and people power.
You've got more money in your pocket.
These large screen TVs can now use more power for a family than a large family fridge.
Four Corners, 8:30 Monday.
The Gold Coast's Dennis Dickman wanted to invent something to solve a problem that's plagued the world for centuries. What do you do when someone has been in the loo and really stunk it up? Find out how he did it.
On The New Inventors, 8 o'clock Wednesday. Do not miss this very controversial documentary.
Everywhere you are told that man-made climate change is proved beyond doubt. But you are being told lies. It is far from clear that greenhouse gas of any sort is responsible for climate change.
We have a vested interest in creating panic because then money will flow to climate science.
The most elementary principles of journalism seem to have been abandoned on this subject.
Have we been deceived? Is this really the great global warming swindle? Coming soon to ABC.
Welcome back to Cougar Eye Oval. Second half about to get underway. 16-4. City leads Country at half-time, and there's a big job in front of the Country boys to get back into the match. Coming up after the City Country game today, we've got netball highlights, highlighting the Commonwealth Bank Trophy, and plenty of exciting netball in that. Super Series bowls will follow that at 5 o'clock this afternoon with the World Team Cup. England playing Ireland in the women's pairs. And in rugby union, the Pacific Nations Cup is on ABC 2 tomorrow afternoon at 5:30. Japan against the Junior All Blacks. That's tomorrow afternoon. Japan against the Junior All Blacks, one of the last games of the Pacific Nations Cup. Amongst the crowd here, the Lockyers getting together to watch Matt in action, playing representative footy. Wonder how many footy games they've seen between them all, the entire Lockyer family. And of course, been given huge thrills by Darren Lockyer, the Australian captain, and Matt Lockyer himself has proven to be a real star in our Queensland Cup competition, playing with a few different Queensland Cup teams, currently with the East Tigers and playing as a part of the City team here today.
Jerry, I met Matt Lockyer and Darren Lockyer's dad a little while ago, and interesting, they, as we know, they played Aussie rules as young fellas, but when they moved out to Roma, what else can you play but rugby league in Roma? So as fate would have it, some of our best players.
So why isn't he playing for Country, Matt?
Country of origin, no. We've got place of selection, and the interesting one is that, as Warren said, we've got Mark G, who's coaches in the City area now, coaching Country, and the shift this year is Toowoomba
which was with the Broncos last year. The Broncos with Toowoomba, they were part of the country organisation. Now you've got the Broncos players now aligned with City.
And Brad Talon's just telling me that they actually did look into their origins, and had they selected them on origins, 70% of the Queensland Cup players are from the country.
Good reason not to get
the
down
only
that
way you
path.
can stack this, the only way you can stack this to get a City win was to run it on where they actually play their footy. But at least I guess that's something you can say that New South Wales can't, that you can actually have the players who are playing in the country playing the players that are playing in the city, and you can still end up with a competitive match. I hope it's going to be competitive.
The other good thing, Jerry, too, is, of course, they allow the guys from the Tweed to be selected in this. Even though the other side of the border, they can be Queensland residents players.
Second half ready. Referee Clayton Sharp. Off we go. City getting the second half underway. Country will have to do an incredible amount of work here, and they decide to spread the ball across and take it forward for them by Isaac Armour. But look at that defensive City. And that was how they started the first half, and Shane Perry was right up in the forefront of it, really getting involved. Coghill is tackled after picking up maybe 10 metres or so, but they're still only on their 20. And another strong, powerful hit up once more by big Isaac Armour. So he's determined to put his hand up in the second half. Musprat with the kick. He's inside his 40. This might be a 40-20, but it stops as soon as it hits the ground. And getting back there pretty quickly is Kemp, but he's taken by Barnes. And Nathaniel Barnes ensuring that he goes to ground. So that was a good territory gainer for Country, but now they've got to pin City down there if they possibly can. Down on the sideline, Warren Boland has the City coach, Wayne Treleaven.
I have Wayne Treleaven back in the coaching game. Happy with the first half?
Yeah, it's a good quality game. We've gone all right. Last 20 of the first half was a little bit harder for us, but look, it's a pretty good contest.
Yeah, it was a wake-up call, a reminder at least that Country aren't going to go away. What do you think happened in that last 20? Was it you slackening off or them getting going?
Oh, I think they got a couple of back-to-backs at us, and we struggled a little bit, but only let one try in from a kick, so I think I've got to be happy with that.
It's handy for you to have that base of Michael Roberts with Shane Perry alongside each other, half and dummy half.
Yeah, that's real handy, and it's working all right, and you've got your one at the backs, the Redcliffe boys, so that all helps, mate.
What were you concentrating on at half-time?
Oh, you know, we set ourselves a few goals early at the start, and we just addressed those, you know, putting pressure on the kicker. We can do that a bit more, and pushing up an attack. I think we could do that a little bit more.
In fact, the City defence has been good. They've been getting off the line. They've been creating pressure.
Yeah, look, we tried. We didn't do a lot of defence work. That comes from within. Like, we give a penalty away. We just got to get those out of our game too. We address that too.
Okay. Do you want to nominate who you think's going best, looking towards that Queensland residents team from the City side?
Oh, I think the 11's going pretty good out there for us at the moment, mate. He's played the whole 40. He's tough, and he thrives on it. I think, yeah, Shane Perry's going good too, mate.
Number 11, Danny Burke at the moment.
Yep.
Good on you, Wayne.
Thanks.
Wayne Treleaven, good to see him back in the coach's box with Warren after so long as the coach of the West Panthers in the Queensland Cup. This is Danny Coburn, caught about 23 metres out from the line as Country look to see if they can score the first try of the second half. Here goes Lee Coghill. But lovely tackle there right around his legs was Anthony Boyd. Now Ben Black with a run from dummy half, almost to the line. Oh, so close. Lovely dart there by Black. Can they finish this off now? Chris Walker kept it alive out to Danny Coburn. Here comes Musprat. Running onto the ball goes Exton. And Trevor Exton takes the tackle but keeps it alive. Back there to Scott Alo. Alo for the line! Oh, it took about 5 City boys to stop him. Great run by Alo. Black offloads the pass. Mix up there amongst the Country boys. The referee has said knock back. This is the 5th tackle though. Black through the middle. Black over the top pass. Who's there? Nick Parfitt scores that try, and Country's done what they had to do. They had to come back. They had to score the first try of the second half. They've done it, and now it's 16-8.
What an amazing try. They went up a couple of dry gullies initially. The fumble, I think, by Jackson Nicolau finally got to Chris Walker, who decided he had to keep it alive. There's Walker on the last tackle play, flips it out the back, and then Ben Black, a nice and surging run, and then to have the peripheral vision to fire it out to Nick Parfitt, who, under the intention of Jamie Simpson, did well to get it down. And Country was so important for them to hit back early in the second half. They've done it. Game on.
Indeed, game on. Chris Walker with the conversion from the touchline. It's going to be a tough conversion from there, but it is certainly what country needed.
Jerry, I've got with me the country coach, Mark G. Very thrilled about that try. Gets you right back in the contest.
Yeah, mate, we most probably deserved one at the back end of the first half there, and yeah, that's just reward for some good work.
Yeah, a bit slow, I suppose, a bit of drop ball early on. Just you didn't seem to really get going till about 10 to go in the first half.
Yeah, no, their first 20 minutes was really good. You know, we didn't have the ball. We had a lot of defence to do, and that took a bit of gas out of us. And you know, that penalty from the kick-off sort of gave them a fair bit of momentum too to get to 16-0, and that game could have gone either way, you know, but the boys reacted really well to it and came up with some good results at the back end of that first half.
It's such a good game of football as Chris Walker lines up this conversion. He wants it to stick, doesn't he? Look at the concentration as he moves in. And just missing. But it's such a good game of football and so many good individual man-on-man contests, but the halves, you've got quality in Perry versus Musprat.
Oh, for sure, mate. Yeah, I think there's quality across the field on both sides, and it's a good advertisement for the Queensland Cup with the two sides out here today.
There's Ben Black capitalising there. Chris Walker kept it alive, and Nick Parfitt over in the corner for a good try. Yeah, I mean, look, as I say, it's hard when you've got so many good battles going on. That where do you see it being sorted out here today?
I think the team that holds their head the best, you know, down when they're going into the opposition's line, will come up with the win at the end of the day. You know, both teams have been a little bit erratic and pushing the pass maybe a little bit too much and not quite having the patience that's required.
Is that what you talked about at half-time?
Yeah,
just a little more control?
A little bit more control, a little bit more patience. You know, we need to sort of wear them down. Their line speed was tremendous in the first half, and I think that might hurt them a little bit at the back end of the game, or we're hoping it will anyway.
You're coaching against, I think it's 4 Aspley Broncos out there today. Did you give away many secrets?
Oh, yeah, no, we talked about a few things, but yeah, nothing too much, mate. They're all pretty solid players there.
And we might be having a fine game here, City Country at Cougar, but the big game is in Bow Desert tonight. You're putting the boots on again.
Oh, yeah. Having a bit of a crack there. We've got a charity game, a SIDS charity game to raise funds for SIDS, and yeah, it should be a good night.
So there's 4 Gs, Andrew G, Keith G, and Craig.
Brother Craig.
And Shane Webke's playing as well.
Yeah, Webby's going to have a bit of a run there, so it should be a good night out there.
Where's the venue?
At Bow Desert, Peterson Street.
All right, good luck this afternoon and tonight, Mark.
All right, thanks, Warren.
Mark G, wouldn't that be great to see? So everybody in the vicinity of Bow Desert, that includes everybody in Brisbane, it'd be well worth going down and see Shane Webke in action and all the Gs. Andrew, Mark and the rest of the crew. And speaking of crews, the ball being played as the City boys start to move this ball around as they really need to do. Still got the handy lead, of course, of 8 points, but the kick coming from Mark Brentnall, and he's found the pocket nicely here. It's going to stay alive too, so Parfitt's got a bit of work to do from here, and they've followed it through pretty well. Good tackle there by Alwyn Simpson. Oh, here goes Shannon Walker. Here we go again, but getting nowhere thanks to the attention of Nick Emmett. He just followed him everywhere. Wasn't deluded by the dancing, and Chris Walker, again it was Nick Emmett to shut him down with the help of Anthony Boyd. This country steadily do the work, trying to get it out of there. Coburn again doing his best. He's hard and tough. Black keeping it alive. Musprat with that lovely pass. And Jackson Nicolau almost through. Not quite, no. Shane Perry was there to ensure that he didn't go any further. Black with the kick. Oh, he's found ground here. It'll take both the wing on that far side, Alwyn Simpson, a while to get to the ball, and of course back there also Ryan Cullen was a fair way from it. Cullen in a dummy half now, offloading the pass, but no way through for Nick Emmett this time. Again, he had that ball in the one hand, but wasn't able to make the break. But here goes Kemp, and that's the 40-metre line, still in their own territory, 10 from halfway City. It's just been a steady set so far. Anderson hitting the ball well, holding onto it this time. Instead he lost his boot. Didn't lose the ball, lost the boot. Perry now. Nice offload out to Jamie Simpson. He's been impressive, Simpson, but he was close to the touchline, so he did what he had to do. He just had to make sure that he wasn't forced across that touchline. Fifth tackle now. The kick from Perry just behind the defence. Awkward bounce back there for Barnes, but he's able to take it safely.
Well, both sides now making sure they get a good sex and then a good kick on. So both these teams now have only been presented the ball a long way from the try line. And that's the way this game has been played out at the moment. Hard yards and then a good kick at the end of it. Either side blinks here. Could make a big difference to this match. A bit slow for Country this time to get out of their own territory. Isaac Amau, again, this good rushing defence from City is keeping the pressure on Country. They've only got to the 30 and 4 tackles. That's not good enough. This time out there to Musprat. He takes them on, pots the ball up there to Lee Coggle. Spins out at one. He's got Walker on his inside. Oh, outside he had Walker. Parfit. Was he tackled without the ball? I think he was. He's going to play it on. Picked up by Dennis Kemp. Well, I thought Parfit was obstructed there from getting a clean shot on the pass from Lee Coggle as Ryan Cullen comes up the middle. That's a key turning point in this game.
Surely it's the only reason he wasn't able to hold on to the ball. There were so many arms holding on to him. That's Coghill with the offload back inside, and Parfit was being tackled as he tried to get his hands to the ball.
Referee ruling that it was only after he touched it. Pick up here by Coghill. So a mistake now from City. They haven't been able to capitalise or benefit ultimately on that call. Out of dummy half, Chris Walker. Certainly still has that dash. And you'd have to think if he gets a half a chance, he'll put points on in this game. He normally does score in any game he plays. Big John Frith up over the halfway line. Ben Black has looked pretty good at dummy half. Isaac Armau.
He has a go, doesn't he, Isaac?
Does he ever? He's squirted that ball out. That's play on. Now Ben Black can offload. Nice work from Black. Up here to Parfit. Options here to the centre in Guy Williams. He keeps it alive as well. Back on the inside to Exton. Trevor Exton can't stand in the tackle. Ben Black looks up on this right hand side. Goes himself. Nice work, Black. He's asking a few questions, Ben Black. He normally plays half-back, but he's slotted into that dummy half role beautifully. Jackson Nicolau up to Musprat. Got Walker back on the inside. He loves that play, Chris Walker, and he'll get a penalty for players inside the 10 minutes. Musprat wants to take a quick tap. Good play from Musprat. Picks his options. Back on the inside to Exton. But again, the defence is there. Country really asking the questions now. Ben Black at dummy half. Who's his option here? They're up pretty flat. Up there to Musprat. He's standing a bit deeper. Up there to Danny Coburn. Pops the pass out to Lee Coggle. He busts him again. Coggle under the sticks. Under the sticks, Lee Coggle. Well, he split him wide open a couple of minutes ago to try and get the pass back on the inside to Parfit. What a good pass it was to put him through. He loves to run off the shoulder, and he's hard to stop.
Oh, this is the Country spirit. Look at this. Just keep it going. Look at your options. Hand it to the man going forward, and wasn't he going forward? Lee Coghill. A powerful bus straight through the defence. Here we see it again, with Musprat deciding to send it wide. Coburn, beautiful work by Coburn. Instead of just keeping it going, he was aware that Lee Coghill was there, and he just held up the pass, sent it nicely back into him, and he just crashed his way through the defence that was there, Coghill, for a fantastic try that really opens this game up at 16-12 now, and surely this time they'll get the conversion with Nick Parfit right in front of the posts.
We've got it at 3 tries apiece now, so much in this. As Jerry says, the kicking hasn't been what Country would have wanted, but Parfit, he'll be able to do this one with his eyes closed. Gets it back to a 2-point ball game.
Well, Lee Coghill's had an outstanding game since coming on in the first half from the bench. Just been dynamic. Great run through the middle a little while ago. Wasn't rewarded, but this time he's on the end of some good work, isn't it? Musprat has been playing outstandingly well. Serves up a lovely ball, but this is the money ball. Coburn short ball, and Lee Coghill coming at it straight and very hard. Busts through the attempted tackle. Very little chance. In fact, that tackle really had to be made at full pelt, hitting Coghill sideways. Otherwise, Coghill was going to break him.
Interested onlooker there, David Taylor, the very exciting forward from the Broncos.
This was originally selected in the Brisbane team today, but has been called up for the Bronx on Monday night.
And this is Isaac Armau taking the ball forward for Country. They've really got a new spring in their step, the Country boys. Jackson Nicolau turning it nicely back into Exton. 12 short of the halfway. Oh, look at them go. And Black seems to have inspired them somewhat as well, as has Armau. What a tremendous amount of work he's done. That's the halfway mark that he's playing the ball just short of it. Here comes Muspratt with the offload. Walker again. Chris Walker into open territory. Can he keep going? He can score himself, but the pass again to Shannon Walker has gone down.
Should have gone inside.
He definitely should have gone inside. Parfitt was just lurking on the inside. Chris Walker splits them open. He decided to go outside, but Shannon Walker couldn't handle. Well, there hasn't been too many passes between those two today that have actually come up with pay dirt.
It's a pity you weren't at dinner with the country team last night. You could have introduced the Walkers to each other.
I tell you what, Chris Walker would have enjoyed making that break because he shoved off Nick Emmett. He left him behind, and he would have enjoyed that. But unfortunately, he just had to look back on the inside as well as looking outside to walk. He had two men unmarked inside. It was an easy try waiting to be scored there.
The positive, of course, was the split by Chris Walker. He's starting to look dangerous every time he touches.
It's interesting, isn't it? All the ball is going left to Chris Walker. It's not coming to Guy Williams at right centre, and that means that Nat Barnes isn't getting any ball either. I just wonder whether Nat Barnes might suddenly pop up out of nowhere later in this game and score an important try.
In the meantime, the pressure's on City because it's a while since they've scored points.
It's a good tackle from Williams.
And here they go now. Roberts with the offload. Taken forward there by Will Scanlon, who was very good in the first half. Into country's territory they are, City, for the first time for a while. Roberts is out on the full his kick off the side of the boot.
Well, we saw country struggle in the early minutes of the first half, and now City doing the same in the second. 3 tries apiece on the board at the moment, 2-point ball game.
By the way, Dave, news on Andrew Moroney from the first half. It looks like they think he's ruptured a patella, basically knee bone there, ruptured ligament behind the knee bone. Yeah, so bad luck for Andrew Moroney in the countryside.
Hopefully he'll be okay. Sometimes those patellas can slip back into place. Again, Coggle. They can't handle him out on that left-hand side. Lee Coggle, he's untouchable. Michael Ryan runs out of dummy half. He sees the markers are asleep or not in good position. Nick Emmett finally makes the tackle. Danny Coburn fulfills the dummy half roll. Good long pass up to Muspratt. Long pass on the outside to Black. Black now playing in the halves. Pass up there to Exton. Fifth and last. Country calling all the shots in this second half thus far. Ben Black out of dummy half. Grubber kick, threads it through nicely. Picked up on the run beautifully, though, by Shane Perry. Takes a chance to offload to Jamie Simpson. They didn't get any extra territory out of it.
Great hands from Perry. That was right down at the shins.
And he was on the run as well, Perry. It's worth having another look at it. Good work from Black to thread it through, and Perry nicely positioned. Just got a hold of it as well. And now City again having to do the hard work. They have not threatened Country's line at all in the second half. Haven't had a lot of possession either, so often the wheel will turn. Good run.
Sometimes it might be just a run like that that gets you on a bit of a roll.
Anthony Boyd, it was good run. Perry decides to change his mind. Comes back down this left-hand side. And Parfitt makes a dominant call there, which allowed Nathaniel Barnes to step out of it. Nathaniel Barnes can't step out this time. This is his job to run out of dummy half. Does well to skirt, to play the ball. Even if you move to play the ball around in that circumstances, you just offset the defenders. It gives you next plays a bit of a better chance. Walker again.
Oh, he's looking for the ball, isn't he?
He has got to score a try today.
He's turning up in all sorts of places, Chris Walker. So just wait for it. It'll come. John Frith and the Country Boys are on the rise, still trailing by 2. And here they go again. Ben Black holding up the pass. Parfitt the pass straight out to Guy Williams, but that was well read.
Was too.
Great defence, Kemp again.
Yeah, he had 2-on-1. He had to come in.
The high kick this time coming from Martin Grace. Look at Cullen fly. Great work, Ryan Cullen. No fear. I mean, there's not much to him, but boy, he'll take on anything. This is Mark Cantoni now. Tackle 15 from halfway. Here's Cullen leaping high above the ruck. Great work. Tremendous courage to go on with that and take the ball so spectacularly. But the City Boys in possession, 10 in their own territory. All the work in front of them. To Rio, well met. Coghill just shutting him down. Cullen keen to be involved. Perry kept going on to Boyd. And they'll make it across the halfway on the 5th tackle. Brentnell a dummy half this time. Perry's kick is not a bad one for the corner, but Parfitt in beautiful position. He's back by himself, but getting right back into the centre of the field before straightening up.
Again, City getting no attack ball. Country are playing this pretty well, and they're surrendering it back to City down the other end of the park. They'd be pretty happy with the way the tactical part of the game is going at the moment. Here's the dancing feet of Shannon Walker.
Seen that Barnes getting across on the right side. He might want to get into dummy half, have a couple of quick darts out of there.
Place there on big Johnny Frith. Michael Ryan working the dummy half now, and again they're using Ben Black pretty well. His versatility being well and truly utilised. And Dean Kemp drops back nicely, but again, Country have only surrendered possession to City, with them back well in their own territory. City won't want to make an error. Mark Cantoni. Tactically, this game being played out very, very strategically at the moment. Both sides being careful to use their first 4 or 5 ruck plays. Perry to the line. Beautiful pass to Anthony Boyd. Oh, had his hand free, but Lockyer, he couldn't find him. Nice work, Roberts. Back to Perry. Good play up here to the big fella in Anderson. Straight up the middle. Beautiful pass. It was to Brendel. Beautiful work from Lockyer. He was there before, and they didn't find him. He's there the second time, and he's right on the spot. Great work there from Matt Lockyer. When you don't get the ball the first time, don't put your hands on the hips. Keep hanging around. It'll finally get to you.
Well, City have been struggling, and they needed to do something to get back into the game. Well, big Scott Anderson has been struggling. He had to do something. Look at the break he made. Look at the way he just waited for the chance. Got it to Brentnell. Lockyer was there. Brentnell had to keep it going to Lockyer. Job done. City extend their lead out to 20 points to 14, and the Lockyer clan have another reason to be well satisfied with the talents of their rugby league playing family. Here it is again. Beautiful inside pass there to Anderson, and he was in open territory, but Brentnell read that well. He very quickly loomed alongside Anderson, and Lockyer finished it off. And Wayne Treleaven out of his seat for that. He liked that. It's taken a while, but it came just when City really needed it. And Matt Lockyer doing the job. Just one of the team, of course. So that was a real team try. So many different contributors. And wouldn't Scott Anderson be feeling pretty pleased with himself after his contribution there? It's an important kick now. All the kicks are going to be important. Alwyn Simpson, not too far away from the post. Should be able to improve that record. 2 from 3. He's out of the extras. Will that make the difference? Will that give City the win, or will Country come back? It's 22-14.
Still 18 minutes to go. This is great football, isn't it? Inside ball for Anderson on the gallop. Good support inside from Mark Brendel, perfectly positioned. And there's Lockyer to finish it off. What a good try it was. With the inside pass there from Perry to Anderson. They tried the inside ball on the previous play, made a bit of ground, got the defence going backwards. Earlier, in one tackle earlier than that, we'd seen Boyd almost passing to Lockyer, so it was a great set that time from City.
And Lockyer taking the ball from the kick-off, and guess who was alongside of him ready to take it forward? Anderson. And here he is, Anderson, all fired up now, and gets the pass away beautifully. And again, the other man involved in the try, Mark Brentnell.
So it's good to see both of those players getting more involved. Brentnell's been a little quiet. He's coming alive now. Anderson's had a mixed game, a few drop balls, but he scored a try. He set one up. He doesn't know what to think about this representative football.
Scanlon playing it just short of the halfway. Perry the danger man. Boyd! Oh, they've combined magnificently. Lockyer couldn't quite handle it. Picked up by Black for Country now. And they'll counter-attack. Lee Coghill. Oh, Coghill. Oh, get out of my way.
Gee, they can't handle him, Lee Coghill.
Well, they might be from the City. They might think they know. Oh, another big hit, this time on Coburn. Danny Coburn.
This is not the first minute, it's the 63rd minute.
Yeah, that was Scott Ayler with that last tackle.
I'll tell you what, Danny Coburn doesn't look for gaps. He looks to run over the top of them. But boy, oh boy, sometimes he comes out second best. This is Martin Grease.
3 tackles in a row from Ayler.
In a dummy half is Michael Ryan.
Now he's tired.
Don't blame him.
Ryan almost sneaking through there. And here they keep it going on the right-hand side. Good work again by Black into open territory. Support, and Shane Musprat scores a try that brings brings country back again. 22-18. What a game Ben Black is having for country.
And it was a stacked blindside too. They were lining up these support players. They were shoulder to shoulder, and there was plenty of signals to go say they wanted to go down this right-hand side. And Ben Black, who's had an outstanding game, works out of the dummy half roll. Have a look at them lining up. And Parfitt and Musprat were there to support. Musprat was the one that was selected. But it just shows you don't need a lot of room to score tries. You just need to be able to get into the smallest amount of space to set up others. And nice work from Ben Black. As we say, he was brought on as a bench player. Have a look at Musprat really issuing the instructions. I reckon he is an effervescent type, Shane Musprat, the skipper.
Look how much he wants to win.
Oh, yeah, that's inspirational stuff.
And look at Danny Coburn after a couple of those tough hit-ups. He's got a big cut on the cheek.
He's got a signature on that cut, says Scott Aylo.
Nick Parfitt has converted the try. It's now 22-20 and country's on the way back.
Well, it really is a tremendous game of footy. The scores are close now. Look at Black get out of dummy half. The marker wasn't square. He took advantage of that and links up with Musprat, ever present, backing up. Support play so important in rugby league. And Musprat there, as much as for much of the game it's been Musprat directing play. There he is to capitalise on the good work of Black. And as David said, hasn't Ben Black made a difference since he came on from the bench in the first half? And he's a fiery little customer, and he injects plenty of enthusiasm into the play.
Well, David said before the game got underway that the last 10 minutes will be pretty tight and pretty tough. And he wasn't wrong. When City led 16-0, I thought, well, I don't know that prediction's going to happen, but it sure has. And this is Martin Grease now. There's a lot at stake here. Both teams really want it. Musprat's pass was too enthusiastic that time, behind everybody. But it's Chris Walker with it, doing a bit of dancing and still getting to his feet and going again. But good work by Jamie Simpson to come back at him. Interchanges, City have used 9, Country have used 8, so both of them have still got a few fresh legs to use. But who needs them when you've got Lee Coghill? Straight up to the halfway mark. Oh, he has been a tremendous contributor. Guy Williams now hitting that tough City defensive wall. 8 metres in City's territory. 2 points the difference, 22-20 in favour of City. Black this time going for the kick option. Not a bad one either. If the ball holds up, it might. It does. And so the pressure is on Ryan Cullen, but he's made it into the field of play. Superb work. Jackson Nicolau back on. He had just a period on the bench a short time ago, Jackson Nicolau, but he's back on.
There's a couple of purple patches happening here. That kick could not have been any better for Ben Black. To kick it from that distance and get it to stop half a metre from the dead ball line. And then Ryan Cullen to get it out of there was a fantastic effort. City needed that. They couldn't have afforded a goal line dropout. And this game has lived up to all expectations and some. Big fellow in Clifford Manoa gets it up over the 20. Good quick play the ball as well too. Brentnell kicks out of there. Last tackle play. Parfitt's got it covered. So Country will get possession back. And it does beautiful to Shannon Walker, the flyer. I don't think they'll get him. Shannon Walker back on the inside. Picked up beautifully by Lee Coghill. Lee Coggill's got the hand in the air. What a performance. What a comeback from a kick downfield. Taken beautifully by, was it Parfitt?
Yeah, Parfitt.
And then Shannon Walker. I thought he could go all the way himself, but who should bob up but Lee Coghill, who's been busting them everywhere else. He gets a clear run to the line.
Just sensational. Into open territory, and suddenly he says, where's my support, where's my support? Oh, it's big Lee Coghill. The pace changes, but it doesn't matter. Lee's celebrating before he hits the line. He knew he was going to go all the way. Fantastic backing up. Doesn't matter whether you're fast or slow. Be there and you might score a try. And when I say that, I'm probably being rude to Lee Coghill because he has got plenty of pace. But it's just, I guess, a contrast with the incredible pace. Here's the kick again. Parfitt has been in beautiful position in defence all day today. Just strolls forward, thinks, oh, Shannon's there. He can do a bit of dancing. Dance. Look at the sprint. Just accelerating away. And he knew one man in front. Shannon Walker did exactly what he should have done there, even though he might have been a chance of running around the one man there in defence. He knew that Coghill was unmarked. Now Parfitt It's coming back well. He's kicked it. And now Country in front by 26 points to 22.
What a kick return it was as Brentnall kicks downfield. He thinks everything's going fine, but you'll see on the far side the man in the winger position comes in to make the hit on Parker, comes in, there's the tackle, but it opens the line for Shannon Walker, and he eventually catches up to Lee Coghill, runs him on side, and Coghill says, thanks very much. I'll finish that off. I've been doing all the hard work. So this game, what a contest, 26-22 in favour of Country. And I've got to just correct, I was paying tribute to Scott Alo's defence, getting my teams mixed up with these players playing for different sides here. Willie Scanlon was the one dishing out those heavy tackles a little while ago.
And he's done some great work in attack too, Will Scanlon. Yeah. Some really tough hit-ups.
That's him making another tackle now.
So Country finally have hit the lead. Can they now hold on and keep that lead? Martin Grease losing that ball, but the penalty going to Country. So the ref's got the right idea now.
This will certainly give Country the springboard that they were looking for off the back of that try. Ball being stripped out. So Country put 3 tries on in a row.
The penalties 6-4 now in favour of Country, and they're in front on the scoreboard as well. So the Country boys, having hit the lead, are going to be keen to go on with it. Nice offload again to Trevor Exton. They're 30 metres out and ready to score again. Michael Ryan back inside, Black again. Grease straightens it up, the Burleigh boys combining. 25 out now. Looks like the action will happen on the left. Black, Musprat the controller, nice pass to Coghill again, and he's inside the 20. Ryan, don't keep it going on the left-hand side. Musprat looking for Witch Walker, Shannon for the line, not quite there. Well, he had 2 options, either Chris Walker or Shannon Walker, and Shannon nearly made it anyway. Musprat kept alive to Black, oh, lovely pass, here they go again, don't need any support, Scott Alo scores! Country are in, and now they're going to win the game, I reckon. They're out to a 30-22 lead. They've got the momentum with them, playing great footy, and that was fabulous movement of the ball, finished off by Scott Alo.
Nice work from Country. They clear the ruck beautifully. Ben Black again fires the big man on the outside. Scott Alo, the dummy, goes straight ahead. City's defence was far too sparse on this outside. Look at the good clearance of the ruck there. Pass to Musprat, pass to Black. They got it to midfield. He fades across a couple of defenders. And then good work from Scott Alo, the awareness to just throw a bit of a dummy and see what the defence were then going to decide to do. It just opened up for him.
Don't you love Musprat's passes? Beautiful. They're right out in front of the man. That pass across to Ben Black there had Black going forward onto the ball, and the momentum was suddenly Country's way. It was fabulous work.
It's good. 5 tries to 1 in the second half, Country. In a dominant display after a poor start. Conceded the first 3 tries. Now they've got a very good lead. The game not over yet, but City have had a little ball. Parfitt adds the extras as well. That'll make it even more difficult.
Certainly will, but what good football it has been from Country in the last couple of minutes. Out to a 10-point lead now. Attacking down the left-hand side, and the Shannon Walker very nearly scored, but then quickly right to left. Musprat, Black, and there's Alo with the ball, but coming around from behind 16, Trevor Exton just made the defence guess, made that dummy easier to sell, and Alo through the hole and over.
Well, you've been saying all day he's been playing well, Warren. Scotty Alo.
He's been playing well for both teams. I got to say, Jerry, you're a very astute gambler, because when City were leading 16-0, you got on Country.
Oh, well, yeah, just as a Country boy, I was starting to hurt, as the players were.
Hang on, it's not over yet, fellas.
I agree.
I know that. And the Country players know it too, don't you worry, David.
I was about to say that. He might be an astute gambler, but he's got him home and hose with 9 minutes to go.
Well, they're playing really well at the moment, but we know that it can change on a sixpence. 7 minutes to go. 10 points can be easily turned around. But Scott Alo, again, another strong, powerful run. Caught just short of the halfway. Ryan. Black, hasn't he had a terrific game for Country? That time, not really getting too far with the ball. There's that signature tune for Danny Coburn. And there they just put it into the pocket. and we'll try and pin City down there as the clock ticks away.
Yeah, good play there with only, what's that, 6.5 minutes up to full time. City will want to pack this as quickly as possible. Plenty of time for them to run in 2 converted tries, but they've been devoid of possession, City, in this second half. You can't play the game at the top level without a fair share of ball.
Country have only won 1 in the last 7 clashes, so yeah, they're about to fix that up.
Country have had 67% of possession in the second half. That is massive, and that's the reason they've got so many tries up. They played well with it, mind you. Now City will need to get 100% in the next 6 minutes or so to win this match. Lockyer, there's good attacking players here if they can just build some momentum. Manua. Cullen lurking up on the inside. There'll be plenty of backup now. Every break will be offered up with some opportunities for support. Cantoni, third tackle. They're almost up to halfway. Roberts looking around. The head was like a periscope. They won't get a blindside to Danny Burke. Good defence there to shut him down, though. Country's defence line looks pretty well set, so City will have to come up with something pretty special. Perry, pass up to Boyd. Boyd driven into the ground. Last tackle. They want an attacking play here. Roberts out of dummy half. Little grubber kick. He's got the attacking play he wanted. Bounces up there to Parfitt. That cuts out the other side. Nick Parfitt. He's got Matt Jackson. Nicolau. Parfitt can get away from Perry. He does. He's away. Nick Parfitt. Well, he got a kick return earlier and set them on fire. This one he's done it all himself. The grubber kick by Michael Roberts bounced up to Nick Parfitt. He saw it was Perry coming across in cover. Thought he had him for pace. The little fin got him away, and Parfitt's put it beyond doubt.
And there was the little kick. Just everybody everywhere, and Nick Parfitt just picking the ball up and running. Off he went. He set up that try to Shannon Walker, or at least to Lee Coghill earlier, from being in defence with a kick through, and there he was again to go all the way and seal it for Country. They've done it now. Nick Parfitt of Burleigh, his second try of the match, and the Country boys have got it all sewn up. Here it is again, into open spaces. He backed himself here, just decided to pin the ears back, and off I go. The one-handed pound to push off Perry. And after Perry was gone, there was nobody in front. Nick Parfitt scores the try, and the Country team celebrate well and truly. Country hasn't beat City by 10 points or more since 1971 until today, when it's 36-22, 14-point margin in favour of the boys from the Country.
Roberts had to try something. He was off balance, couldn't quite get the kick in that he wanted to. But look at this battle as Shane Perry comes across. Perry's thinking, he's got me for speed, but I've got to keep him against the sideline. Gives him the sideline, but just couldn't go with him. Perry didn't have the pace to get close enough to make the cover tackle. And what a brilliant sprint it was from Nick Parfitt. He has been superb at the back all day.
Lockyer kicks off. Clock just a few minutes left in the game, so that City cannot make up those 14 points now. Ryan there at dummy half. Isaac Armau has done so much of that tough work down in their own territory, running it out. And another man who's done that well is Scott Alo. About 12 short of the halfway. Well met. Danny Burke, one of those strong defenders. Praised by his coach at halftime. Wayne Trelevin was very impressed with the game he's had. And here comes Chris Walker again across the halfway and taken into City's territory. Looks like Alwyn Simpson might have an ankle injury. And here comes Shannon Walker. Oh, the magic of Shannon, almost into open territory. He's still a chance, but just Ryan Cullen holding on to that ankle.
A penalty.
Yeah, penalty goes to the Country guys. It's all over for City. They're being Country just running all over the top of them. Ryan kicking for touch. So Country will have another last go. Here was Shannon Walker's run. Incredible pace he has, and that little bit of a step as well. Yeah, stepping back inside. Perry tried to. Cullen did well there, and in the end he got away from Cullen, but Cullen grabbed his ankle and that prevented him going further. But now Guy Williams is only 5 metres out in a dummy half. Ryan gets it away. Is there another try here to Sodalo? Almost there. Ryan offloads the pass again, and it is a try, and he deserves it too. Big Isaac Armour gets a 4-pointer for the country and joins in the celebration. It's Country Hour here on ABC, as it has been for about 65 years.
Nice dummy half play here by Michael Ryan. He tried to put it forward over in Scott Ale first. He didn't get there, almost did, and then turned it back on the inside to Isaac Armour. Beautiful work. Look at that little flip back on the inside nicely. And the big man who's played his heart out this afternoon. Great effort by him to come back on the inside. What a terrific match he's had. And he's left nothing in the tank, Isaac Armour, on a great effort.
It's turning into a rout. 40 points to 22. And there, Wayne Treleaven, the coach of City, must be wondering what on earth went wrong after such a fabulous start to the game. And City did look $1 million team. Now, Nick Parfitt with the conversion is successful, and they're 20 points clear. It's 42-22 to Country.
It's incredible. It wasn't long ago City were leading 22-14, but Country have scored 5 tries in a row, I think it is. And here's the Ipswich connection. Ryan back inside to Armour, and both players, and particularly Isaac Armour, have really played strongly today.
And there's the very pleased coach, Mark G. Better watch out for him, the guys who are playing against him at Bow Desert this evening. There it is, full time, and Country have come up with an amazing come-from-behind win. They trailed 16-0 early, and they've run out winners by 42 points to 22 in an extraordinary second half, where they really lifted. They lifted late in the first half and then kept it going in the last 40 minutes to come up with a fabulous performance. And good to see Chris Walker back playing really exciting rugby league. How exciting is his wingman outside him, Shannon Walker, when the ball gets to him. And Musprat, what a tremendous game he had for Country. Shane Musprat controlling everything, as he does the young guns, of course. And they were fabulous in the second half. And so the full-time stats, 42-22 on the scoreboard. The penalties favouring the Country boys from 7 to 4. The completion rates 30 from 39, which was so much better than their early performances. And for City, just 21 from 31. They dominated possession, 59% of it. They dominated territory. And in the end, it was City who ended up doing a lot more tackles, almost half a century more tackles than Country. And yet early in the game, it was extraordinary in the other direction. Missed tackles, too many for City, 20 missed tackles. And they came up with 10 line breaks, the Country team. Let's go down to David Wright with the man of the match.
Man of the match this afternoon, Isaac Armour, the big front row from the Country side. Great comeback there, Isaac.
Yeah, coach just told us second half, just keep the pressure up, because City came out firing, but we knew they weren't going to hold it for the whole 80, so we just kept our cool and try and hold on to the ball.
Mate, you did very well, and always nice to get that try right at the end as well.
Yeah, I've just been at the right place at the right time, so yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, mate, you've gone well with Ipswich this year as well. The side's going well, so you must hope you get a chance in this resident side.
Oh, you know, if it comes, it's a bonus, but our season with Ipswich has been going good because all the boys are playing for each other, and the coaching staff has really put their mark on the team. So,
what's your background, Isaac?
I've come from New Zealand, came over with the Bronx, and then now I'm down with the Ipswich. So see what happens.
All right, mate. Well, well done, well played today, mate. With fancy shoes like that, mate, I reckon you've got to play well. So well done today, and good luck for the selections.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Dave. Thanks, ABC.
And I've got with me the City captain and halfback, Shane Perry. Shane, I guess when you led 16-0 in the first half and even 22-14 about 15 minutes ago, you thought you might have been on the way to victory.
Yeah, we should have wrapped the game up a couple of times there, but yeah, fell away in the last 15 minutes, so credit to Countryside.
Yeah, you had a very good game yourself, of course, but what a battle between yourself and Shane Musprat, and then Ben Black got in on the act as well.
Yeah, they both went pretty well, so yeah, they both went well.
Yeah. Tell me that when you're trying to pin Nick Parfitt on the sideline there just in the last minutes of the game, what's going through your mind?
Not too much, I think. You know, he's always going to have me for speed, so I just tried to get him over the sideline, but yeah, a bit too quick.
Yeah. From as a spectator, we thought it was a tremendous game of football. As a player?
Yeah, it was good. Nice and open footy, so a lot of shifts and stuff like that. So it was, yeah, it was a good game.
And the quality of the players on the field, I know it's hard when you've only been together for 3 or 4 training sessions, but the speed and the quality of that game, how does that compare to NRL, which you've had a fair taste of in the last year?
Yeah, it's you know, it's probably not up at the same level, but you know, it's always getting better, the Queensland Cup, and each year, so you know, it's getting closer.
All right, well done today, and we hope we see a lot of you in the rest of the season.
Thanks, Warren.
Good on you.
Well, Country ended up with the biggest winning margin they've ever achieved in the City Country matches in recent times. So what a fantastic performance and what a comeback. They were down 16-4 at half-time. And it looked like there was a mountain to climb, and they certainly climbed it with 7 tries in the second half. Let's have a look at this try-scoring spree. It was important they scored first. This was a bit scrappy. Up there to Chris Walker after Jackson Nicolau. This is last tackle play. That's why it's a bit of helter-skelter. This man had a terrific game, Ben Black. Pops it on the outside to Nick Parfitt, and he gets across there to get them back on track, Warren, at 16-8 after 4 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, it certainly did, and I mean, it was well finished off, wasn't it? Ben Black, he did have a strong game, really stamped his presence on it. Nick Parfitt, too, 2 of the outstanding players for the countryside, but really a remarkable game of football. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, terrific game. Beautiful pass here by Danny Coburn up to Lee Coggle. He created havoc out on that right-hand side, Lee Coggle, in the second half, and that got him back to 16-14 after 52.
Yeah, well, from 16-4 at half-time, at 16-14, City might still be in the lead, but Country were really coming for them, and you mentioned Lee Coggle. Again, there's one of the best players on the field.
Yeah, a terrific game, Coggle. He was busting them out wide, but some good service in the halves as well. I thought Shane Muspratt also had a good game today, Warren. And
I don't think many players had a bad game out there from either side.
No, you're right. But the halves, I reckon, just sparked them. And there was plenty of ball getting. They were getting plenty of width from the play the balls, and that really stretched City. Of course, they had a mountain of possession as well. Country in the second half, something nearly 70%.
Well, to be honest, I'm stunned that we're sitting here, Country having won by so far. They scored the last 5 tries in quick time to just run away with the game.
Yeah,
until then, it was a contest.
It was. City hung in there in the up till about halfway through the first half. They got their one and only try in the second half. It was a good one as well. Lockyer was backing up all day. Pass back on the inside there to Anderson off Perry. Perry has Bretnell backing up, and then Matt Lockyer beautifully in a position. It looked like City were going to keep hanging on there at 22-14.
Beautifully worked try. Inside ball from Perry. Anderson runs strongly, links up with Bretnell. Great support play, and there's the extra support play you need. Not just 1, but 2. Over goes Lockyer.
There's 16 minutes to go at this stage. They're leading by 8 points, and then Country
16 minutes to go, wasn't it?
They cut loose, scored 5 tries in 16 minutes, and Ben Black again. I like the way he was, his versatility showed. He can play out a dummy half. Have a look at this, searching for space, and then looks on the outside, finds Shane Muspratt. Had a top game, Muspratt. He really controlled things nicely in the number 7.
Yeah, well, the coach was smart enough. He realised Ben Black was on fire. He left him out there, and Ben Black out of dummy half, got away from that marker who just couldn't get back into position, had to let him go past, and links up with Muspratt, who had a superb all-round game.
Right, Country, City, I should say, in front at this stage by 2 points. Goes down to Parfitt. What a kick return.
Yeah, you'll see, I think it's Simpson comes in here, makes the tackle on Parfitt, but leaves the wing open for Shannon Walker. That was a mistake made, and then Walker's able to link up with Coghill, who was still coming back chasing the kick.
It's pretty good effort, isn't it? When your teammate picks the ball up 20 metres from his own line and Coghill links up without having moved too far, 30 metres from the opponent's line.
But everything Nick Parfitt touched turned to goal today. I mean, perfectly judged of the situation there. He drew the winger in and then fires the pass to the unmarked winger. We're going through a lot of very good players saying they were all men of the match today.
Yeah, there were some good performances, and no doubt, Warren, they're going to pick a very good Queensland resident side out of this team. There's some good players there, the cream of the crop.
Well, yeah, I had a quick look at the City team at the end, having been well beaten, and I suppose I thought Shane Perry was one of the better players. The way Country finished, they're obviously going to get the bulk of the Queensland residents team.
Yeah, well, they may well do. Obviously, they had all that possession in the second half. So,
well, I was surprised I didn't see more City players who suddenly stood out. I mean, say Michael Roberts has played very well, but towards the end he was being dominated by Ryan and Black.
Yeah, certainly was, and Country kept the pressure on. One thing having the football, it's another thing making sure you use it, and big Scott Alo does well. He gets put into a bit of space. Again, Ben Black, the 2 halves again. Muspratt out there to Black, and he fades across 3 players to put Alo into space. It might make it look easy, but he's created that by just going across field and getting on the edge.
Yeah, and not only the Muspratt Black combination, but you see here's Alo, and he just sold the dummy as they all went wide didn't make the tackle initially because they had the additional player coming around the back. That was, I think, not Simpson. Anyway, one of them were coming around the back. But this is the creme de creme. This is the killer blow, isn't it?
It was. Michael Roberts went out of dummy half. He had to try an attacking kick. Instead, it fell into the hands of Nick Parfitt, and he dashes away to put it beyond doubt. 36-22 when it was 32-22. Roberts tried the attacking kick.
Yeah, well, it was catch-up time for City. They knew they were in trouble. Roberts tried to do something special there, and you could see he threw his head back in horror to see that Nick Parfitt had picked it up on the bounce and was sprinting away, and Parfitt too much speed for Shane Perry.
Warren, again, though, it shows just how much incentive it is for these guys. We've got a lot of experienced players played their hearts out today, and some good young kids with a chance to, if you can play well at this level. It's the next level up from Queensland Cup. You get a chance in a rep side. Who knows who might see you and what chances might offer up from there.
Well, particularly the younger players who make that residence team, they're going to be watched. It's going to be an Origin night. There's going to be a lot of people watching them, and it's a chance for them to make their mark and go one step higher. But what I really liked about it today was just the way both teams really came to play. Every player was out there giving his very best from the outset. It meant something to them to win that game, meant something to them to impress.
Yeah, and Country haven't been going all that well in recent years. I think City had won, last 3 out of 4, yeah. So it's certainly been a good effort by Country to hit back. They had a good footy team there and give them possession in the second half. They were able to use it. The final try came via the man of the match who'd absolutely played himself to a standstill, Isaac Aumau. Didn't have to do too much back on the inside there. The City defence exhausted, and he gets across with an inside pass.
Yeah, smart play. Dummy half, it's pretty simple, but it was enough at that stage of the game, and Aumau over, and as you said, I don't know how much he weighs. He wouldn't be the biggest front rower going around, but pound for pound, he's mighty good.
He is good. We're on the versatility of players these days, obviously with interchange and that. Ben Black, I thought, was terrific. The fact that they can get in there, dummy half, be effective, and then play the wide running game. Roberts does the same as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Very versatile. I thought the benches today really made an impact in the game. Whichever way you look, whether it was Manua, Scanlon, Boyd and Lockyer for City, or particularly from Country, Coghill, Alo, Exton was good. Exton was very good as well. That Country bench really added something.
Yeah, and of course they lost Moroney, didn't they? So they were only playing with 3 men off the bench. The questions were always going to be asked, but that glut of possession in the second half made all the difference.
Oh, look, possession's everything, isn't it? That bit of control you've suddenly got over the proceedings, and they had the players to exploit it, unlike New South Wales against Queensland recently.
Well, that's true. They certainly lacked that really superstar player in New South Wales.
Okay, look, they got 2 tries from kick returns, didn't they? I mean, they really are bonuses. I guess the kick chase team should have been more aware of the danger of Nick Parfitt.
Yeah, they certainly took their opportunities, the countryside, and Parfitt's a very good player. So all in all, we'll have a Queensland resident side that'll be picked out of this particular team, and they're going to be hard to beat when they come up against the Premier League team from Sydney. So we'll see that on State of Origin night. Let's hope we have a big Queensland win on that night. Wednesday week, we'll be back in a moment. Or Jerry will anyway, with the scoring summary.
Good on you, David. And it...